What's up YouTube? It's Jay Soccer DoubleWrench here, back with another Toyota video. Today I'm replacing the fuel injectors in this 8722RE. I actually bought this thing as a donor for a project I've been keeping secret, but we'll make a bunch of videos on. I guess now's a good time to reveal it. Papa Smurf, my 1982 Toyota Trekker. Insert picture now. Figured that thing would be super cool with a 22RE and a 5-speed, because right now it is a 22R that's seized in a 4-speed, and I'm going to be doing all sorts of stuff to it. It's going to be awesome. But first I want to get the donor drivetrain driving right before I park this thing out. So I bought a set of 4 GV remanufactured injectors from eBay, 99 bucks, free shipping. I'm going to toss them in. This thing has a little bit of a miss at idle, and the tune is kind of funky, and it takes a little bit to start, so that could be a bad injector. And I'm just going to replace the 4 main injectors now, not the cold start one, but that might also be the issue. Whatever, let's dive in. Alright y'all, almost ready to pull the upper plenum. Disconnected the battery, disconnected all the hoses, labeled the ones that could be easy to confuse, but none of them are really. Disconnected the EGR, because this one still has EGR. I'm going to have to do something about that before I put it in the Trekker. And there's a hose down here at the throttle body that coolant comes out of, so I plugged both ends of that for minimal coolant loss. And yeah, there are some electrical connectors, disconnect throttle cable, simple stuff. I think I'm missing something, but I'm going to go ahead and remove the bolts, try to remove it anyways. Let's see how it goes. Alright, the upper plenum is off. The one thing I forgot to do that could have cost me was disconnect the cold start injector hard line. But once that was off, everything else is disconnected. There's a hose right here to the throttle body as well. EGR just twisted back. Now I have access to the fuel rail, so I can undo these little bolts. Be very careful. Yeah, I guess I can undo the, what is that, pressure regulator. All the other bolts. That one to get that one out, and then the injectors will be free to unplug and remove. You got to be real careful with all this stuff, so you can strip out the manifold pretty easily. But when I actually pull the engine from the vehicle, I'm going to remove the whole intake manifold and the valve cover and everything to get it painted real nice. But for now I'm just going to put it back as is with the same hoses, even though some of these need replacement, and the same gasket, just because not going to drive it very much before doing the actual engine pull. Alright, just had to use a 24mm combo wrench to get that thing off, and this 10mm for that, then 2 12mm bolts, and you can pull the fuel rail free. Then you just have to pry these little metal clip retainer things off of the plugs, and the injectors are free. So I'm going to pull these out, put them side by side to the new ones, and then put the new ones in with some dielectric grease on the O-rings. There's your before, there's your after. I'm going to lather these guys up real quick and then throw them in and start torquing everything back into place. Alright y'all, I think I got everything hooked back up. Tightened the throttle cable, there's not as much slack there anymore. Battery cable's back on, filled it with coolant, and one thing I forgot was that cold start injectors exist on these. That could have also been my problem instead of having to replace the 4 injectors, but whatever, I have a bunch of these 22RE powered rigs, so a new set of injectors to put in any of them, it's always fine. So let's see if this actually fixed it, or if I just gave it fresh injectors out of the kindness of my heart. It'll take a little while to crank. Oops. Fuel leak right there, so I'm going to assess that. Looks like that fuel pressure damper, whatever that is at the end of the fuel rail, is leaking a little bit. Probably should have used a new crush washer on it, but you can always pop that out and put some new ones on there without having to take the upper plenum off. But I wonder if tightening it will do the trick. Let's see. Take 2 before I have to remove the fuel pressure damper thing and get some new crush washers at Napa. Let's see. I'm going to go get some new crush washers. I really should have replaced those, but figured it's coming apart anyways. Lesson learned. Catch y'all later. Alright y'all, it's the next day. To fix that fuel leak, I ended up going to Napa, getting a couple crush washers. It was just a few bucks, and I put them on the fuel pressure damper, still leaked. Tried another damper, still leaked. Took it off again, tightened it again, still leaked. Flipped one of the washers and it stopped leaking, so yep. After that I took it around the block and it proceeded to throw that belt that was squeaking. So I tossed a new water pump and alternator belt on and put a temp gauge in it, luckily before that drive, so I was able to stop before any damage was done. But yeah, other than that, I lowered the idle a little bit. I think, yeah, it needs a real tune, but I lowered the idle because it was just running at 2K, which I didn't like. I don't know what did that. Maybe I clogged the IAC or something when I disconnected those hoses to remove the intake. I don't know, but I don't know. Let's see how it starts. Probably even starts worse now that I've kind of tuned it so poorly, but we'll see. just bad. And the cold start high idle deal, I think I might have undone that when I adjusted the throttle, whatever. That's how you replace the injectors on a 22RE. All this other stuff is just, I don't know. Sorry, I got sidetracked, but yeah, I mean, if you want more videos for your old Yoda, make sure you like and subscribe this.